Monday. Gotta keep going. All right, everybody. Let those notifications go out. Yes, it is our Motivational Monday. Yep. So, that's right. I want to let everybody know that, that's right. We've got an article on our website. It's in the blog department. Okay. You know, the page for our blog. If you, the website link is listed below. When you go there and you hit on the navigation menu, okay, and you see blog, all right, when you click on that, it's always going to be from newest to oldest, right? So it's up there, Trauma Healing and Spiritual Growth, at CHA and CHA Academy, dash, with a little dash and then article. So that way you all know, and yes, it was written by a third party and edited by me. Because the third party, exactly, used a bit of that narcissism with big words and trying to, over. So I had to tone it down just a little bit. All right, there you go. I had to bring it back down. God's like, well, bring it back down a little bit. All right, so anyhow, I encourage y'all to take a look at that. And so we're going to get into this motivational message here. Again, let those notifications go out. So I'm going to get the formalities out of the way real quick. All right, everyone. So there you go. Yep, after I do my typical sound check, if you will. Over here. Motivational Monday. There we go. All right, Motivational Monday. That's right. That's what it's all about. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA Motivational Monday Show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, where, that's right, trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true technique, and more here and at CHA Academy, btbw.com. Yes. That link is in the description below. Some of you might need to copy and paste the link to view what CHA Academy, btbw.com offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. And we have more coming to the Academy all the time. Weekly content, fun fact videos, short Bible study. The message for this week is Matthew 22:44, right? Where God says, God tells, like, just sit at my right hand until I make thine enemies the footstool. Okay, and that's spiritual, you all. And there's many meanings to it. So I offer several different interpretations because there's so many different ways that God will do that. Okay, that He will make our enemies our footstool. Okay, so one big way He does that is that He's going to level us up right in front of them. That's it, right in front of all of them. That's why God says, do not give up. Because every single time you get that urge, because that's the enemy trying to creep in. And because you're meeting a little bit of that resistance, that part of narcissism. So what happens is, that's what that does to them. When they don't get instant gratification, they give up and give in. See, chosen one, we ain't about instant gratification. God ain't about none of that. God's the long-term God. So everything we're doing to put in position, there's a lot of y'all who are just now finding out some of those challenging gifts on the inside of you. So you got to keep going because there's a whole lot more in there than you realize. There are many hats. We find out when we walk away from the chaos and drama of the world, right? The matrix. We walk away and we start doing that inner work. And we discover more about ourselves that's been in there all along. And it's just a matter of time. So for those of you who have joined us on this journey in God's reality and spiritual awakening, welcome. Got to keep going forward because God is a forward-moving God, right? That's why he says, do not give up. Don't be trying to throw in no towel because that's so easy to do. Oh, yeah. God's like, yeah, I know. I didn't make it easy, but I am keeping it simple. Okay, because at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, that's what you're going to get. Simplifying the complex. In a world that loves to complicate things that are not complicated. We learn this also. So I know some of y'all are feeling that way. And let me share with you, I had those moments too when I first started. But eventually, you don't have those urges anymore to throw in the towel because you start to see results. Even the smallest stuff, that's what I want y'all to do right there. Okay, that's what I want y'all to do. If you are feeling like you want to throw in the towel and give up and give in, I want you to stop and reflect. Okay, stop and reflect for a moment. Think about how far you've come. Because a lot of y'all, listen, we do it to ourselves, yes, but we got to stop sometimes. Take a look, see how far we've come. Yeah, a long way. So getting to the other side of that rainbow, get that balance between the spiritual and the physical. Yeah, we've come a long way. And God said, yeah, he said, I did not bring you this far to drop you on it. He said he will never leave us nor forsake us. And God is a promise keeper. So you got to remember that whatever it is he's put on the inside of you to do for his perfect will, for his glory, it's there. It's been there all along. You got to unpack that bag. And so once you start doing that, you start to discover things. And then you rediscover. Okay, it is a journey of self-discovery in the trauma healing process, you all. It really is. And for me, this time, okay, to help y'all put things in perspective, it's on the physical side this time around for the your physical trauma, the physical body. And Jesus is on the job. So God said, keep going. Because those of us who are also on the detox journey from radio frequency poisoning, let me tell you, it is a rodeo. Like our fellow warrior Chris has mentioned, that the detox process is very much like a rodeo. Okay, you just have to, you got to have that patience because you're going to go through fluctuation as your body's internal heat gets to a level that it considers as normal. Okay, you'll know. Oh gosh, yes, because when you can finally sleep through the night, and it set on 70 instead of 65, that's progress. Okay, that is major progress. So there's something to look at. Those are the things that we need to be looking at, not what we don't have or what we're not seeing yet. Okay, and remember, the world, the matrix, is all about instant gratification. The enemy, right? The enemy believes that you only need 1 year before. No. God says it can take a few years before. Okay? So you got to, God's seasons are not the same as man's season. So while the matrix and the world out there is only going to give things 1 year before, I'll never forget it, y'all. Seriously, yeah. You're not alone. Any of you who are content creators, and let's say you launched a website and you're starting to get inundated, if you will, right? Get an influx of spam emails and unsolicited advice about your website and things like that, because they want to sell you services that you don't need. Never forget that. That's how the world operates, the matrix. To try to sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. And we learned it when we get in God's reality. And so we realize, but the enemy will always try things to see if he can get you to give up and give in. Especially because he knows. He doesn't know exactly when, but it only means when you start feeling like you're going to throw in the towel. Don't. No. God says, pick that towel up and wipe that sweat and keep going. Because that means your breakthrough is already here or it's right around the corner. And it could be something that simple as being able to sleep through the night with the temperature on 70 instead of 65. That's a breakthrough. See, y'all gotta think outside the box when it comes to breakthroughs and blessings from God. Because it ain't just about money. God blesses us in many ways. And our breakthroughs occur in many different ways. You learn how to cook a new meal. That's a breakthrough. You learned a new skill set. You're mastering a new skill set. That's a breakthrough. Okay, things like that. Y'all, this world is so, because it has that love of money, the root of all evil. So it's only going to focus in on dollar signs as being breakthroughs. God's like, it ain't always financial. Oh yeah, God's got an inheritance for his chosen one. Absolutely, the devil knows this. But God needs to see us get more responsible, and he needs to see us living more humbly. Just because we might see, okay? And he also wants us to take notice of the other things. There's so much more to God than that. God will always provide. He will always make sure that we have what we need. Okay, chosen one? He will. He does. And he is. So glory be to God. And never forget, these shows, Motivational Monday show, is structured for advertising as well. Because like many, I had to learn the deception too. I had to learn the lesson about people clicking on an ad and draining your budget. And so you have to be patient to get all that back. So in the meantime, we have to do our own advertising. And you never know. I have to think of these shows and videos and stuff coming to a new fellow chosen one every single day. So that's how we approach things when we put stuff together. Now, we just have to think about, okay, you know what? Because we are a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. And we got to keep each other going. Got to uplift. Okay? Got to uplift one another. We ain't supposed to be tearing each other down. Hi, Chris. Yes. Okay. At least you're still working from home, so that's a blessing. Yes. Glory be to God. There you go. Yeah. Waste of time and money that was. Absolutely. And so it just takes a while for us to get that back. We learned that there's a lot of people out here who they think that you're in competition with them. We call them narcissists, don't we? Okay. So just be on the lookout here. Okay, I'm just making sure that all comments, because we are on Facebook as well at the business page. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows. All right, and so since I was talking about the detox process, okay, we're detoxing from radio frequency. So the body's going to fluctuate, but do not give up and give in, because see, that's the thing. All right, let me share with y'all something. Okay, I learned of another big fat lie, and I mean big fat lie, that I was told during back in the day, my modeling days, okay, or my attempts at getting a modeling contract. Lots of great photos, but they all gone now because that's part of the past. But the lesson is what I focus on. And then God revealed the big fat lie to me, because you know how the enemy is all about appearances, outward appearances. That's why I tell y'all, focus on the internal and the external will follow. Okay? Seriously. Because if you're focused on the external, especially while going through the detoxing, the enemy can easily trick you into thinking you're having a relapse or you're having a setback. No, you're not having a setback. You're having another surge. So it's like I said earlier, Chris, I shared your analogy of the detox process being like the rodeo. And it really is very repetitive, but you learn, okay, as you go. Okay, you're going to have those moments. Okay, so don't allow the enemy to trick you, because I know that what I see in the physical is being altered by the plug called bruising. Okay, that we are ice packing. Okay, so getting the internal body temperature back to where it needs to be, so that that stops happening, right? The fluctuation stops happening. Right. Because the enemy has head games. That's it. And so it wants to trick me into thinking that things are larger than they really are. Never forget that. Remember, the enemy needs people to see things as being way bigger than they really are, and not as they truly are. Because when I edit videos and I look at the photos, yeah, I'm getting to the big fat lie that I was told. Just hang tight. I'm looking at current photos and videos as I'm editing, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror in the physical, and I'm like, the camera don't add no 10 pounds. The camera shows exactly it is. That's right. Unless the person photoshops or what have you. I'm talking about it, the videos, the camera, this camera, the phone camera, and what happens. Yeah, picks up what our actual size is, not what the enemy is trying to perceive out. It's a reversal thing going on with us as we fluctuate. So the enemy would like to trick us into thinking that we're not making any progress. See, that right there is what will cause people to give up and give in if they're not seeing, walking by sight, right? If they're not seeing immediate results. It's a process, y'all. Okay, so stay tuned to learn more about when God says do not give up and give in when we come back.
Are you tired of feeling sluggish and ready to take back control of your health? CHA Academy, BTBW.com has a course for you. CHA Academy's How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course will provide you with fundamental tools and information to help you overcome traumatization from radio frequency poisoning and narcissistic abuse. We are subjected to toxicity from radio frequency and narcissism daily. Detoxing from the trauma is part of CHA's combat against radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. You can learn more about the How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course at CHAacademybtbw.com and clicking on all courses. The link to the academy is also listed below for quicker access. I look forward to seeing you at CHA Academy, where iron sharpens iron with fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. Sending love and light always.
That's right. Welcome back. Yes, see, that there is the comment that the camera adds pounds, but the camera sees exactly as it is. That's correct. And so God revealed that to me. And the highs and the lows of the detox, well, we don't want you really at places. No. Tell those to take a hike. And so if you need more assistance with that, you send me an email. All right, give me some detail. All right, because I'll give you some specific tips. But I know one thing that God's been doing with me during the detox is not reliving bad places, just bringing things to my remembrance. Because let me give y'all this for inspiration, okay? Because this is what He has me looking at. Because I had a little bit of I don't really want to call it a dream, but it was a message. And it's where I woke up and there was a note taped to something on my dresser. And it had a previous, it had the married name on it. And I said to myself, I was like, okay, I'm not living in the past. I said, we're over that. And God says, I know, but I need you to remember something from that season. I was like, okay. See, it was during that season where I thought that I was lactose intolerant because I was told by the world that I was born that way. It went away for a good majority of my life, but then it will come back. And I got lied to by the Jezebel, telling me that that's what the doc said. But God said, yeah, but did you ever see any documentation of that? No. So this ties in with radio frequency, because it at that time, okay, let's see, it was after I stopped driving big rig. Yes, for those who don't know, I was an over-the-road truck driver at a time in my life. And that was with the angry ex-narc. Okay? So, during those 5.5 years, what was I exposed to? Oh my gosh, right. Inside that big rig, CB radio, generator, all kinds of frequency in this little bitty cat. So 5.5 years, right, exposed to that. Well, shortly as we were getting out of that, getting ready to quit that. In fact, if I stand corrected, I stand corrected, but I really believe that those RF symptoms is what led to when I went to Dairy Queen and got me some ice cream. Well, it did not go so well. I wasn't real sure what was going on. I was like, hold on a second, that's never happened to me before. And then and so I was reminded that, oh, well, they said that might come back. See, that's before I entered the spiritual awakening, y'all. And long before I started learning about frequencies and how they're used to cause a lot of things. And radio frequency poisoning causes a lot of digestive upsets. So not only are we getting hit with the abuse from the narcissist, but we're also getting hit with that radio frequency, right? Exactly. So it's no wonder our digestive system was during some seasons of our lives. They didn't know what to do. And so we've been tricked by a lot throughout our lives. So that's what God needed me to remember. That's why I was like, why am I going through that season? Because I would consider that reliving a bad thing that I don't want to relive. And I'm not. God just said, I need you to remember something. Because it goes in line with the combating radio frequency poisoning. Because I found out, that's right, that when I took a lactase enzyme, yeah, that didn't go over so well. So if I truly was lactose intolerant, I wouldn't have had that reaction to lactase. So now we know the truth about that. So for those of you who may be, because listen, don't let the enemy trick you into giving up and giving in, okay, if you find yourself remembering some things that are not so pleasant. Ask God what he's trying to tell you. It usually means that there's something from that season that God needs us to remember as part of what we're going through today, so we can connect the dots and understand more about ourselves and why we experienced that when we did and how we did. That's a big part of it when you're detoxing, because it is going to take you through previous seasons of your life, because you're going to sense some normalcy here and there. It's not your normal yet, right? It's not it's not the normal that you want, but it was a normal at one point in your life. That's why you recognize it. And so that's what I do whenever I have another surge, if you will, okay, the highs and lows. Because as I'm walking, I'm like, okay, where am I at? All right, okay, I feel this. Okay, I remember feeling this particular way when I would go, when I would take breaks from undergrad and go on a short vacay. I remember this. Okay. So it kind of just gives me a way of keeping up with progress so that we don't get duped by the enemy into thinking we're not making any progress when the reality is we are making a lot of progress. It just may not look that way yet. You'll feel it on the inside before you'll see it on the outside. That's why I'm saying you got to focus on the internal and the external will follow. And so we don't want none of y'all reliving. Our ANS will relive stuff on our behalf. We have to tell it to knock it off. So, yes, go ahead and send me that email, and we will work through that. Remember, at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, you guys get guidance and support every step of the way. That's what we're talking about right here. So if you are experiencing something that's not so pleasant, whether you're going through the detox or not, please don't hesitate to reach out with that email, and I will get to you as soon as I can. A lot of times sooner than later, but it depends. Okay, and yeah, because we want to help y'all. You'll get seriously. We're not telling you that just to hear ourselves talk. We mean it. There's a lot of places out here that want to operate under that pathogenic approach to trauma healing, which is, oh, here, slap a Band-Aid on it and it's fixed. No, we don't operate like that. Not at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. You get true, blue, genuine support every step of the way and beyond. Okay? Because we are to be iron sharpening iron. Okay? And this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. All right? We're not going to leave you behind. No, chosen one. So, the angry ex-narc. No, never once made that. Narcissist, no, he never once suggested that we sit down and talk it out. No. Yes, okay. A lesson from the past the enemy has been using to dispirit you. Okay, well, there you go. You gotta stay wise to the tricks of the devil, y'all. You're welcome. You are very welcome, all of you. So let me check over here as well and see if anybody from Facebook has a question or anything that they would like to have addressed. Okay. So I'm going to, but yeah, y'all are very welcome. We're not, yeah, we are all about that trauma healing and spiritual growth. That's why I say that even on our Patreon channel, you all, still, even over there, you're getting guidance and support every step of the way and beyond, because I have CHA low sodium menu guide, right? Those are guides. So along with my words and messaging and tips and suggestions and the courses at CHA Academy, the Patreon channel also serves as another outlet, not only where you can further support the work, but also to give you more real-world connection, especially about the radio frequency, because that is very important to get understanding of, because now we're starting to see why we experience certain things that we experienced. Okay? Yeah, so y'all are not alone, because we got tricked into taking a bunch of things that actually prolong the pain and suffering. Yeah, see, God's been revealing that to me, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I did some experiments with some stuff, and I went, ooh, that actually makes it worse. Why am I going to put a compression sock, right? Why am I going to put a compression sock on, let's just say, the foot or ankle that needs circulation the most? Why? Because I learned something, that the compression thingy, it will numb. Of course, it depends on the level of compression also. But I found out real quick. I said, hold up a second. What do we know about nutrients, right? as we're studying Colossians 2, verse 19, right? How we increase with God. Okay. So I was like, yeah, but that's circulation. Because it needs, for healing. So why am I going to compress an area where there's a bruise? Because it needs circulation the most. Yeah, I caught on to that one. I was like, oh, no. Because it doesn't hurt. That's the thing. As long, get that circulation going. Because, right. And I want to remind everybody, turmeric. Okay, never forget, for those who need that, turmeric. Okay, so it doesn't take much. A little bit of it goes a long way. I found that out. Because when I put just plain turmeric on one of my deviled eggs, I put a little too much. And boy, it was pretty tasty. I won't deny that. Yeah, I'm a little bitter, but anyhow, I went ahead and I let that. I was like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and I guess we're getting a really good start. And I'm talking about the actual spice, turmeric. Put it in your stuff. So now what I'll do is, I'll put a few dashes, like in my tuna salad. And then in my superfood juice that I take on my walk, put a few dashes in there. Because turmeric is really, really good for your joints. Okay? And inflammation. So there's another tip. I don't want y'all to forget about God's natural remedies out here. Because we don't have to depend on the matrix and its stuff that actually prolongs pain and suffering. It doesn't treat nothing. A lot of it doesn't. But remember, blowing your taste buds with the turmeric. Yeah, I sure did. All right, and so there you go. All right, and you'll learn more tips and other things also on our Patreon channel. So stay tuned to learn more about when God says not to give up. Yes, when we come back.
CHA's Patreon membership channel is another place you can support this ministry and work for as little as $5 a month. When you become a member of CHA's Patreon membership channel, you will unlock access to a lot of content that will help you purge that subconscious mind of worldly garbage to make room for more of God's wisdom. We have been lied to since birth about a lot of things. On CHA's Patreon membership channel, we make real-world connections to the spiritual realm and more. The link to CHA's Patreon membership channel is listed on the My Social page of the website at CDHRWDRMD.org. Also linked in the description below. Thank you for becoming a loyal member of CHA's Patreon channel. Sending love and light always.
All right, welcome back. I see you down there about the chamomile drop. Okay, well, that would be why. If you don't have a vitamin shop in the UK, I would suggest researching like health food stores. Gosh, I remember. There's lots of them. I don't know what they will call them in the UK, but I will just share with you there was one where I used to live, and the name of the store was Simply Good, and they carried a lot of those herbal things and specialty items and stuff like that. There's also, I don't know if you have a GNC, you can check there, and you can even check on Amazon for that. And you want to make sure you get the alcohol-free version. And that bottle I showed you on the Patreon channel in that video, or the fun fact, excuse me, that's at the Academy, my bad. Yeah, that was my fun fact number 49 for CHA Academy about the chamomile. So you want to make sure you get the extract, and you want to make sure you get the alcohol-free. You don't want the alcohol. Okay, so that's my tip for you on that. Is just to do a little more research. There's got to be some, like, specialty health stores. Like, we also have a Whole Foods here. I don't know if y'all might have one of those over there. If you have a Whole Food, that WHOLE Foods, Whole Foods, if you have one of those, they will have those herbal supplements like that. So it's just a matter of searching around. I just happened to find it at Vitamin Shop. That's where I've been doing business for many years now. So as far as the herbal side of things. So yeah, I feel for you on that one. I really do, because as I said in the fun fact, that chamomile also good for physical stress on the body. Okay, not just stress relief from life, but physical stress on the body. You can feel the soothing of it. Oh gosh, yes, it works. Y'all got to remember, God gave us a lot of natural remedies, herbs. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Even fresh herbs gave us a lot of healing power in that stuff, and in different teas. Like green tea is really great. It has potassium and it's got antioxidants. I mean, there you go. And it is. That's why God says, don't give up. Do not give in to the enemy's devices. Remember, we're told in James 4, verse 7, that submit ourselves unto God. Resist the devil and he shall flee. All right, I want y'all to put that in the comments below. Say, resist the devil and he shall flee. God's serious about that. So resist that urge to throw in the towel. Like I said in the first segment, God said, you better pick up that towel, wipe off that sweat, and keep on going. That's it. Don't throw it in. No, see, that's what the evildoers do. That's why the enemy tries with us, because it works on them. Think about that for a moment. On Chosen One, yeah, we're not, we're go-getters. We are very, very resilient. And so it surprises them, of course, because they're not that way. They don't even know what being resilient is. Being resilient is not giving up, not giving in. You know there's a solution to this problem, right? For example, in the last toxic workplace, yeah, I may not have worked on that problem-solving thing every single day, but I was, because I had to email the manufacturer of the phone or the person who installed it. Okay, I had to email them to get their input on how to get voicemails transferred to where they belong. Because the process that was available to me was written by a Jezebel, and it was way complicated. I said, I know it can't be this complicated. It's got to be an easier way to do this. And there was. But it took a few days because I had to wait on the email response. I had to try out a couple of different things. And finally, after a few days, victory. Okay, we got it fixed. And I remember one of the Jezebels up there said that they thanking me for my resilience to get them their voicemails back, to where I didn't have to be the message deliverer. I could just send the voicemail where it belonged. And it really was. It was as easy as 1, 2, 3. That's right. Yep, it sure was. That's what I'm saying. God is a simple God. But he said, do not give up. Because if you are embarking on trying to solve an issue, you know there's a solution. Chosen One, we know that there's a solution to everything. Well, yeah, first and foremost, his name is Jesus. Absolutely. And then with God, all things are possible. Right? Remember, we did a confidence building yesterday on the YouTube channel, y'all. Yep. You'll see confidence building in the title. But let's just chat from May 3rd of 2024. Confidence building tips. I highly encourage y'all to watch that, because on the YouTube channel, because those work, tried and true techniques, so that you don't give up and give in to the enemy's stuff. Remember, if it's negative, it's from the enemy. But if it's taking you to a season in your life that you're like, hold on a second, ask God. There's some differences, okay? When God says, okay, yeah, I need you to remember there's a connection. And for our combat against radio frequency poisoning for healthier living, God needed me to make that connection to that part of my life. Okay. And then he needed me to make the connection to where all the frequency was that I had been exposed to that led to those symptoms. Okay? That's God. See, God is the only one that can give us closure, y'all. When we have questions about things in our life. Yeah, don't let the enemy trick you, okay, into thinking that you're not making progress. He loves to do that. And he does it with illusions. Never forget that. He does it with illusion. That's all he got. The enemy, that's all he's got is head games. So don't forget that. There you go. Resist the devil and he will flee. There is always a workaround. Absolutely, y'all. Seriously. Oh, that resistance? Yeah. Remember, narcissism causes resistance. Okay? It does. It causes resistance. So whenever you find yourself meeting up with that resistance, that's when we get with God and go, okay, there's a way around it. There's always a way around the resistance. Always. Because, see, the devil loves to do that. Because, create. Or I wouldn't say, because the devil's not a procreator. He will cause. Okay? Yeah, he's a causer. Like trickster and a causer. He will cause resistance. And if it gets strong enough, that's what causes a lot of them to give up and give in. Because we learned something about toddlers and adult bodies, the evildoers, is that they don't want to work that hard for anything. They want everything handed to them on a silver platter. God's like, I'm not going to do that. God's like, I need to see you ready. See, that's the thing. A lot of people got to realize something, that when we're going through what we're going through, and we focus on what isn't happening, guess what? You're going to see more of what isn't happening. Remember, what we focus on the most is what we will attract more of. So if we focus on healing, actually we're going to attract more healing. If we're focused on that confidence building, over time, it's going to happen. You will get to that level of healthy self-confidence that you need to be walking in your God-given purpose. Because myself and many others can tell you that if you're still easily triggered by one of these evildoers coming in the comments and throwing a fiery dart, a verbal attack, and you're still easily triggered, you got to overcome that. And so how do you do that? Okay, the best way, make sure you don't have any dependency on anything external. No external validation. No dependency on that at all, because that's where that stems from. You have to learn to expect the unexpected. That's it. We overcome all expectations of people. We know what to expect from God, because he's a promise keeper. But we need to learn how to expect the unexpected so we are not caught off guard. Because that's what the devil loves to do, is trick people by catching them off guard. Because when he can catch people off guard, that's when they more easily give up and give in. Yeah, just like that Jezebel that got court ordered removed from this complex. Okay, trying to weasel her way in. And God's like, hold up a second. Knock on my door, caught me off guard just a little bit. But then God's like, you saw them puppy dog eyes. Then you're like, we're going to get out of that. And so that next morning I explained to her why I was not taking her anywhere. And that she would need to locate some services. I gave her some websites. And then, of course, like all narcissists do, made a bunch of excuses why that one wasn't going to work. I already called that one. They told me this. I already called that one. You know, all these different excuses. I'm like, well, just keep looking. Because I had to tell her that this ministry, not for her. Oh, yeah. And so cut that off real quick. Okay? But that's what happens if the enemy can catch us off guard. So this is where we learn to expect the unexpected so we don't give up and give in. And we got to teach our autonomic nervous system to do the same so that, that's right, so that it's not easily triggered anymore. So that's right. I know. It's like, okay. Yeah, because trauma healing, everybody, trauma healing, it's all about breaking trauma bond and then some, because we got to break those. Those are unhealthy attachments to people and things. Those unhealthy attachments also cause people to give up and give in. Okay? So how do you break those trauma bonds? Well, one at a time, obviously. But by learning how the trauma bond is formed and how it is just like the drug addiction, it will help you. See, that master's in forensic toxicology came in handy, didn't it? Oh, and it continues to. Regarding radio frequency poisoning, because that's also metal toxicity. So, a bunch of different sections in our book like that. I kept all of that because God told me the combat against radio frequency, that's our movement. And then trauma healing and spiritual growth, the mission, at Consultant for Heightened Awareness. And I know that we're not the only ones who know about this stuff. So you can stay tuned for our wrap up about when God says do not give up when we come back.
Are you still getting trauma bonded to narcissists? Do you want to learn how the trauma bond is formed? The course, How the Trauma Bond is Formed at CHA Academy is for you. We hear about how the trauma bond is like a drug addiction, but what does that mean? With a background in forensic toxicology, I answer that question in How the Trauma Bond is Formed at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. Once you know the trauma bonding process is simply a manipulation of the brain chemistry to keep people emotionally dysregulated, you will never allow another love bomb to manipulate your dopamine again, and in turn never get trauma bonded to another narcissist. The link to the course is also listed in the video description. I look forward to seeing you at CHA Academy, where iron sharpens iron, with fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. Sending love and light always.
Yes, Chris, thank you. I like that analogy. I got the... Yep, they sure do. The narcissists, the evildoers, yeah, they do. They want to be spoon-fed, like back at school. Yeah, they want to be spoon-fed. They want to be babysat. Oh, yeah, they like to be babysat. And a lot of them will claim they don't like to be babysat, but we also know they mean the opposite of what they say a lot of times too, right? There you go. Okay? And so there's your motivational message right there. Don't give up, don't give in, because that is the trick of the enemy. And so I understand when you are embarking on, let's say, a new position at a job and you have to undergo some new training, you might be a little nervous. I want y'all change that thinking, okay? Don't think of being a little bit nervous as a bad thing. I remember being told before I got on stage to sing back in the day. I remember being told that it's normal to feel a little bit nervous because that just means that you'll do very well. So there you go. Very simple. If you're a little bit nervous because it's something new, but look at it this way too. Once you start it, it won't be new anymore. You'll start going with the flow. Because chosen ones, you're smart. Okay? You're smart. So there's no reason, to think of that as being a negative thing. Because, see, that's the world, right? Wants us to think that being a little bit nervous about something new, that's normal. It's okay. That is a normal response. So don't let anyone tell you that's a bad thing, because it just means you're going to do extremely well. But the chosen ones always exceed anyhow, because you're smart. Okay, chosen ones are smart, because we figure out, we get around that resistance. Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah. Wilting a little under the attacks. Yes, I was in chorus. Yes, and I did do a talent show. Yes, I did a talent show when I was in elementary school. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Yeah, I remember that. And then in high school, I took chorus. So, but right. That's a positive thinking. There you go. Nervousness. Okay, nervousness just simply shows that you're conscientious, but not in a bad way. Of course, it's normal to feel a little nervous. You've never done that before. So, right, but don't let it get the best of you. Remember, chosen ones, you got the power on the inside of you from the Godhead to not allow that kind of stuff to get the best of us. Remember, we learn to get control of ourselves. Okay, we can control that nervousness. Did you know that? Aha! You have the switch on the inside to control that. It is an emotion, but it's not a bad one. It's more like a neutral one. But you can turn it into a positive. Remember, neutral. Yeah, even a neutral can be turned into a positive. Negative and neutral can be turned into a positive. Let's drop that in the comments below. Say negatives and neutrals can be turned into positives. I know it's a bit much, but you can word it how you like. But let's drop that below, because it's true. So that means that everything, emotional wise, can be turned into positive. And then anything that we might perceive as a negative can be turned into a positive by focusing on the lesson. Never forget the importance of that. Now focus on the lesson. When you focus on the lessons, you're like, okay, I learned from that. All right. Now, what do we do with that? Oh, maybe there's some skill set out there that we figured out. Oh, from this lesson, we learned that we need to learn another new skill set to put in action to create that traction so God can see that we're ready for the next level. Remember that God will level you up when he sees that you are ready. So if you're not seeing a level up, then you have to ask God, what else do you need to get prepared for or get in position? You need to see that you're ready to put in action something. So for that new position there, the new training on that job, that's a level up. There you go. See, God said you were ready for that because there's something in that position, the skill set that you need for God's perfect will. See, that's the thing, y'all. If some of you all are still in toxic workplaces, you have to ask God why, and that's usually why. There's something else that he needs us to learn, a skill, maybe about ourselves, and maybe even to continue to get control of ourselves. But if you're still there and you get promoted, if you will, that's a level up. There's something in that God needs you to get. Because you figured out that toxic workplace is not your calling, obviously. But there's some things while there that go with your calling that God needs you to get. A level up and a new start. Absolutely. There you go. Already positive. There you go. There you go. That's what God said. That's what I want to see. God said, that's what I want to see. That positive thinking. There you go. Negative and neutral can be turned into positive. Yes. Glory be to God. So, yeah, I like that. Because it reminds me also, I couldn't figure out why when I went to get my car registered in this new place. And I remember telling the lady there, it's like, I don't know why this feels exciting, but it does. I was like, I don't know why. It had a little bit of a nervousness to it, but more of a pleasant type, like an excitement. Yeah. But it was like, okay, I was like, I don't know why. And that's what she said, because it's a new beginning. So there you go. And I was like, well, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I got replanted here. Remember, when God replants us, you got to let him water us. He waters us. This is an analogy. He waters us. That's right. By having us overcome things, by having us remember, there's a dot connection there. Oh gosh, he waters us by a number of ways, okay? And when we're immersed in his word, in God's word, feeding the Holy Spirit, so the Holy Spirit gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Because remember, when chosen ones are strong in spirit, those Jezebel can't do nothing. Let that sink in. Chosen ones who are strong in spirit, Jezebel can't do nothing. No. They cannot take us to, God's not going to let them. Because as he says in Psalm 105:15, he says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. He ain't kidding. So that's why I know, and I'll tell y'all, that we witnessed it. That whenever one of those Jezebels tried to guilt trip or gaslight, get me to second guess my memory, and then that last Jezebel case study, I guarantee you. But I witnessed them. The next day, they have very bad days. I didn't have to do nothing. That's God. God takes care of that. So they do it to themselves. All right, everybody? So don't forget that. But take care of you. That self-care is much needed for trauma healing and spiritual growth. Absolutely. So the level up and a new start. There you go. That right there. Change that thinking. This is part of the renewing of the mind that has to happen. So what God said, do not give up. It does not matter, because we, chosen one, we got to understand that instant gratification is very short-lived. God said that we have everlasting life with him. That's spiritual. So God ain't about instant gratification. Remember, because he's a long-term God. So God's like, yeah, that instant gratification for the matrix and for toddler in adult body. So we do have to unlearn some of that ourselves. Yes, beam out of our own eye. Okay? When Jesus said, we got to take that beam out of our own eye first. So we had to overcome that. And I realized, like, early on, I've got a couple of parts to the indoctrination of impatience on the YouTube channel for a reason. Because, man, that's one of the things that was revealed early on to me. And I was like, whoa, wow, just wow. I had no idea how strong that was. But I had to see it in myself. And it was, we still have our moment, but we get a lot better. We have got to develop that God-like patience. That's part of walking and living by faith. Okay? And so we don't give up and give in. Chosen one, no. That's what the enemy wants. Okay? So there you go. That is it for today's message. As always, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll get to those. So about a reason narc going out of the way to get to us is to transmit. Well, you know what? That's we're gonna have that conversation. Oh yeah, they do. Just have that. They go out of their way to get to us so that they can transmit their demon spirits onto us. Excellent point. Yep, excellent point, because that's exactly what their assignment is, besides to traumatize. Okay? So we'll have that discussion going forward. I'm going to make a note right here because that's excellent. Yep. All right, everybody. I am Michelle Dickey, your host. Yes, you are very welcome. Okay? That's it. Yeah, God's timing is perfect. It's always on God's time. So, yes, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Motivational Monday Show. Streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.